Hey everyone, welcome back to Coffee Break Investing, and welcome to my personal portfolio. So this is my investment broking portfolio. As you can see in the top bar, I have a total of about £6,300 invested. I actually started this account in September 2019. It's now April 2020, so something like 6 months. So, 6,000 divided by six, you can see that I've been putting in on average around £1,000 a month. And I really wanted to show you some of my most invested equities. Um, so at the moment, so I've ordered this table by value there in the middle. So my most valuable investments in equities, at least, are in order: Visa, then Unilever, Barclays, Taiwan Semiconductor, um, Rio Tinto, Kiwi, Bristol Myers Squibb, Novo Nordisk, Ternium, and Microsoft. And you can see on this unrealized profit and loss amount, the second column from the right hand side, that the performance of these stocks has wildly um, been different amongst this basket of stocks. So far out of that list, Ternium featured in my earlier video has I've actually lost about 30% of that investment. But on the flip side, with my investment in Microsoft, I've actually gained about 25%. And again, Barclays there in third place, I've actually lost about 24%. And Visa right at the top, I've actually gained about 1%, and that's a relatively recent purchase. So what can I say about these equities? So the reason I'll just breeze through the reasons why I have each of these stocks. So the reason I have Visa is really straightforward. It's a completely ubiquitous company. Visa is transacted around the world continuously, and therefore it has a very high return on capital employed. It has high profit margins. It has a high growth rate. It's just a great stock. The only downside with Visa is sometimes it can come at quite a hefty price tag, because obviously it's not difficult to realize that it's a good company and a well-performing stock. But yeah, Visa, my biggest investment, very happy with it. Planning to invest more in Visa at the right price going forwards. Unilever. Unilever is one of the biggest fast-moving consumer good companies in the world. It hasn't done so well for me, the stock this year. It's down 8%, but I'm still happy with my investment in it. I've got about £370 worth of Unilever stock. I would potentially buy more in the future. I'm happy with that. Barclays is an interesting one. Barclays really fell off in the recent coronavirus sell-off, and when the price went down dramatically. I think I picked up an extra 200 shares at around 84 pence. And so now my Barclays is standing at 400 shares, and of the current value of 360. I'm still down 23%, as I said before, but I have all my bank accounts with Barclays. I have my mortgage with Barclays, so I'm a lot more than my investments. I'm hoping that Barclays comes out of this the other side as a healthy company, and I'm sure they will. Taiwan Semiconductor manufacturing. I mean, these videos are far too short to say anything in detail about really why I'm buying individual equities, but Taiwan Semiconductor, the main reason is that it supplies chips to companies around the world, including Huawei in China, but also it supplies major companies in the US, and it supplies companies like Sony for PlayStations and things like that, and Xiaomi for smartphones. So their performance has not really suffered through coronavirus, because the only issue they have is lockdowns of their factories. But as soon as their factories are up and running, really they're performing as they were before this crisis. So they're almost like not a recession-proof stock, but they are a you know a coronavirus-proof stock, if you will. So I increased my holding in Taiwan Semiconductor. Rio Tinto, I've been extremely happy with. Rio Tinto are a global mining company. I think they mine for all sorts of different metals and minerals, including, iron, gold, not gold, diamonds. So yeah, they've been really good from a financial point of view. So I just received a hefty dividend from them, and I just think that they're producing a lot of value for me. Kiwi, I wish I knew more about Kiwi, because I've invested quite a lot of money in them. But basically, they're a fintech company based in Russia, and they do payment wallets and like bill payments for Russian speaking countries, and they have an app, and it's all about transferring money. So it's in a similar space in some ways to Visa. And I just think that even though the Russian ruble has gone down in value recently, I still think that's a really a company that can generate profits quite easily. That's my interpretation of them anyway. So yeah, so there's a flavor of some of my stocks. The other ones, Bristol Myers Squibb, Novo Nordisk. Bristol Myers Squibb, pharmaceutical company, global, expanding very quickly, very exciting company. Probably one of the companies looking for a vaccine for coronavirus. Novo Nordisk is a Danish company that produces insulin for diabetes sufferers. There's a lot of solid companies in there. So Bristol Myers Squibb and Novo Nordisk are examples of companies that have performed well in terms of their stock. So now, if I can tell you that one has made me the biggest loss. So ITV, I have a tiny holding in ITV, but it has lost most of it. Well, almost the majority of its value since I bought it. Unum Group in America, likewise. Marine Products Corporation sells speedboats and things. But having said all of that, I actually just bear with me a second. I actually have all of these companies in my portfolio, having sold some of the ones that I didn't think were going to do very well out of this recession and coronavirus pandemic. So actually, my portfolio is just the stocks that I'm still happy with. So even if a stock hasn't performed very well, I'm planning on holding on to all of these stocks. I think they'll come out the other side. Any stocks that I think probably won't come out the other side, and I won't mention them on this channel, I have sold them. They're typically the companies that are probably headed for either bankruptcy or government bailouts, and I just think that the recovery from something like that will be take such a long time that I just didn't want to hold those for like very long multi-year periods. So anyway, that's my portfolio. Let me know the stocks you like, the stocks that you don't like. I'm going to do a separate video on the ETFs that I have invested in, and I can be quite specific on the ETFs that I'm choosing. So I don't have a lot of ETFs. I've only invested in two. But yeah, so I actually manage a portfolio of about 30 stocks at the moment, and now that I've got up to that number of stocks, I'm trying to rebuy the stocks I already own. but I find it quite difficult because I feel like a kid in a candy shop in the stock market sometimes. So I feel like there's so many companies that I think have great potential for growth. But I try and balance that between buying ETFs with a broad basket of stocks and buying individual equities that I think will outperform the stock market in the long run. So yeah, let me know what you think of my portfolio. Um, yeah, I hope that's given you a good introduction to it. All right, let me know in the comments down below which stocks you own, which stocks you think are gonna fly for me, which stocks you think are gonna tank for me, and subscribe to the channel if you like my content. I'm gonna keep coming back to my portfolio regularly, telling you about the performance, telling you about what I'm buying, what I'm selling, if I'm selling anything. Generally, I try not to sell anything. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thanks very much.